What's up, good vibes people? Thank you very much for clicking this video. Respect yourself. You are indeed wonderful and of great value to this earth. And if you love clip videos, good vibes videos, work videos, generally all types of videos with the intentions of spreading love, peace, and unity, watch till the end and help spread this message. Hit the like button and tell us how you're watching from, man. Straight out of Africa with good vibes. Lots of good vibes. Let's dive in. Hit the like button.
Every other wolf encounter I've ever had, the wolf wants nothing to do with you. I mean, the wolf knows I'm dangerous.
How do they know you're dangerous? Are they having any interactions with other humans?
Wolves know this all across North America. I've only been able to find 2 documented bona fide cases where wolves have killed humans in North America in recent times. There was this one guy, young guy up in Saskatchewan several years ago. There was one woman in Alaska that apparently was killed by wolves. It almost never happens. They just know that people are dangerous. They've been persecuted. I mean, there were bounties on wolves. I think it's in their DNA now, you know. All wild animals. Grizzly bears, they don't want anything to do with people 99.9% of the time.
It's interesting you saying that grizzly bears, where they're hunted, don't want to have anything to do with people.
Right.
They're having a real problem with grizzly bears in places like Montana, where they don't hunt them,
Right.
where they don't have any fear. Many, many generations of no fear.
There's a wave of spiritual awakenings happening right now. Or you could say there's a wave of people stepping into their full power right now, or stepping into their purpose right now. So if you're somebody who feels like you've already been through a spiritual awakening, if you're somebody who feels like you have already become a lot more aware of different things that you're doing, different things that are going on in the world, if you feel like you're somebody who's very empathetic, who's a conscious person, then it's very important for you right now to be aware that this is happening. Because you are somebody who's here to help activate other people into their purpose. So you may be noticing that a lot of people around you right now, not you, you've already gone through this, right? But a lot of people around you seem to be going through some very difficult emotional processing. They might be going through some very difficult life changes, and they might all of a sudden all be coming to you. Right? Maybe you've been really lonely, you've been alone, you've been like kind of hiding out in your house for a while, and all of a sudden it seems like all of these people are coming to you, and they're all coming to you with these huge problems or a lot of emotions going on that are too heavy for them to deal with. So they want your help because they know you've already been through a lot. And it's very important for you to know that you went through what you've gone through to help other people go through that. Okay? You have a very important purpose here. And a lot of times when people believe they're already conscious, they're already awake, they're already aware, they think that everybody else is asleep and you just can't help them. You can't talk any sense into them, right? It's just like, oh, those people are asleep. Well, it's very important for you right now to understand that you were activated first so that you could help activate other people. So it's not about just shutting off, you know, these people who you think are asleep or who you think don't understand these things that you understand now. Your purpose is to help activate other people into their purpose, all right? So when all of these people are coming to you, even if they're not understanding the words that you're wanting to use, the most important thing for you to do right now is to just be there for them, to be an open container for their expression of their emotions, right? That doesn't mean taking on their pain. It just means that you've already gone through it, so you're here to be an open container for what they're going through to help lift them up to the next level. We rise by lifting others. That's one of my favorite quotes, and that's exactly what you're here to do right now.
Angels fought against soldiers in Africa. The supernatural man that emerged from the Congo named Simeon Toko summoned 1,000 angels to help defeat oppressive soldiers. On January 4, 1959, several witnesses attest to seeing multiple cherubim and seraphim angels holding off the Belgian army. Citizens of Leopoldville saw an army of about 1,000 angels which they described as being non-terrestrials. They explained that these angelic creatures had very muscular bodies. These human-looking beings, with supernatural powers, were demonstrating an extraordinary force. For example, a witness saw one of them on the road sweeping a 5-ton truck with one hand. Belgian soldiers opened fire on these angels but to no effect. The colonial army was in a panic and disorder. The angels disappeared as suddenly as they had appeared. According to the African natives that day, Simeon Toko had unleashed his army. Check out my 5 other videos I created on this man Simeon Toko if you're interested in more of his story. I covered his abilities, and who he is in more detail if you wanted a backstory on him. The 4th of January is the day of celebration today in Kinshasa because Simeon Toko Part 3, the African man who is being called the Black Jesus because of the superhuman abilities he had. Let's speak about the superhuman things Simeon Toko did. One time Simeon Toko was on a plane and he ordered the plane to stop in mid-air and it did just that. It didn't fall, it didn't go forward or backwards, it was just suspended in the air. The reason he did this was because he was set up by the cabal and they had sinister plans for Toko. So once he realized the plot he said, "I won't go alone," and then he stopped the plane mid-air. Toko also had the ability to regenerate. Even if an attempt on his life was successful, he would still miraculously come back. A man admitted to taking Toko out professionally and seeing Toko perfectly fine the next day. The reason there were so many attempts on Toko is because the elites viewed him as a Christ-like figure, which is a direct threat to the Luciferian powers controlling the world. The Bible says that Satan is the god of this world, and also that during the battle of Armageddon God will go against the powers of this world alongside his children. If you would like a part 4 like...
Now this is completely off topic, but I decided to make a video on it really quickly before I lose thought, before I forget. There's someone that I follow on here, and someone made a comment on her video, or somebody made a comment somewhere, and the comment went this way. It says, if the name Jesus was powerful, why would they give it to us? If there was power in that name, using that name, why would they give it to us? If you are in this society and you are fully aware that they are trying to control you and they are trying to manipulate you and they are trying to keep you in darkness, why would they give you anything of power? They gave you Jesus, they gave you the Bible, they gave you religion that says Jesus is the God of this entire generation. Why would they give you power? Why would they put power in the hands of the slaves so that the slaves can have power? Why? You see, in a way they did not lie to you. They did give you power, but they did it manipulatively, reverse psychology. See, the name Jesus itself, it does have power, but the power is coming from within you. But what they did was they used this name and they used this man, this yogi, this mystic, this shaman, and they created him in such a way to be the God, the only way and the only truth to the Father. This was not true. This is to keep you enslaved. This is to keep you looking to this God, who is really not the God, but so that you cannot see the God within yourself. This is to cause this man to place a barrier between you and the divine source. And you will go looking for this man in order to get to source. Why would they give you power if they're trying to enslave you and to keep you under control? Why would they place power within your hand? Why would they give you power when you would take this power and overthrow them? You see, if this power, this name, Jesus, every knee, it says, shall bow and every tongue will confess. With this name, Jesus, you can raise the dead, they say. With this name, the Father will listen to your every word with this name. Why will they give you this name? Why did they give this name onto the slaves when they are trying to keep you enslaved, you see? They will give you this name manipulatively, giving it to you, but using it as a tool, as a weapon, to keep you beneath the person of this name, to keep you ever looking for someone to come to rescue you, and someone to come to help you, to keep you ever praying to someone who is above you and out of your reach, to keep you ever hoping and ever seeking but never finding. You see, why would they give you power when they're trying to control you? They gave you a God that does not exist. They kept you looking and seeking over the horizon for someone to come who will never come. Why will they give you power when they are trying to control you? Why will they place power into your hands? How will they control you if you have the power?
The truth about the speed of light may surprise you. For example, light only takes 1 second to travel 7.5 times around the Earth. Light from the Earth also only takes more than 1.2 seconds to reach the Moon. That sounds very fast, right? However, to reach Neptune, the farthest planet in our solar system, light needs to take more than 4 hours. The distance that light can travel in 1 year is up to 9,461 trillion kilometers. But, to reach the nearest star system to us, light from the sun needs to take more than 4 years. This means that when we look at the sky and see these stars, we are actually seeing their past from 4 years ago, and that's just the nearest star system to us. In our galaxy, there are from 100 to more than 400 billion other star systems. The Milky Way has a diameter of up to 100,000 light-years. Therefore, even if humans can create a spaceship that has a speed equal to the speed of light, we will still take hundreds of thousands of years to explore our galaxy. To travel from Earth to the nearest galaxy to us, this spaceship needs to take more than 2.5 million light-years. And that's just the nearest galaxy to us in this vast universe, not to mention countless other galaxies.
Coming to a bank in America near you.
Rage in Queensland tonight after a local woman rocked up to her bank to withdraw cash, only to be told they didn't have any. Taryn Compton wanted to grab some notes to pay a tradie, but when she got to the ANZ ATM, she realised she'd forgotten her EFTPOS card. When she asked the teller for the money instead, she was told the bank doesn't carry cash.
No cash.
And Taryn Compton's here to tell us all about her terrible banking experience. Taryn, what did you think when you walked into a bank only to be told they don't have cash?
I thought it was absolutely crazy. I thought she must have misheard what I wanted, if I'm honest. How can you go to a bank and not be able to get your own money out?
Taryn, that's what I'm confused about. So what's in the bank if there's no cash? Isn't there, if you open up the safe, what's in there? How did they explain it to you?
They just said, I'm so sorry, we can't help you. There's nothing we can do. We don't have cash here.
So did you think maybe that was a temporary situation? That maybe they were going to get some cash tomorrow?
No, she actually said, we don't carry cash anymore. We can't.
And yes, we are going to a cashless society, a digital economy. But believe it or not, there are a lot of people that don't believe that cash is going away. There's a whole other side of people that don't believe that. Those are the people that I'm trying to get this message out to. Either you adopt or you get left behind. Know what you hold. Let's go!
Juniorvej Anna klockbön en stort klon het na isinjera. Om jag lok en så. Och han järglock in kladkaka.
This is not a conspiracy. This is scary. So in 2018, scientists discovered a black hole really, really far. Like I want to say it was like 16 million light years away. Something crazy.
Whoa.
Super far from us. They're watching it literally swallow a star.
Oof.
It was sucking a star in.
Did it move or the star move?
The star was getting sucked into this black, like, so it was just like light streams going into this black hole.
And where is it going?
Listen to this. What they thought they knew of black holes, well, they don't know a lot. Stuff gets sucked into it because it's just this mad force of gravitational pull that just sucks everything in. So it was 3 years after they discovered this. This year, they looked at the same black hole, and it was spitting the star back out. Like, so light and stuff was coming out of this black hole. Just like, so it was like regurgitating this star.
Just
but
recycling it.
Like broken apart, though. So it's like, what's on the other side of that black hole?
It was the star was broken?
Yeah.
Well, I thought a star was just a ball of gas.
It is.
It
But-
chewed him.
But light and stuff was coming out of it. It sucked the star in, and it was spitting it straight back out
That's
3 years later.
terrifying.
So that made me question a lot of things.
Do you remember listening to what a black hole sounds like?
I've actually never heard this.
Dude, that sounds like the underworld.
That's
what a black
terrifying.
hole, that's what a black hole sounds like.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm going to sleep to tonight. Just
All right, this is really cool. This is the view from inside the Orion spacecraft when it re-entered Earth's atmosphere. Check this out.
I was representing the Geographical Society of Canada on a boat trip that was traveling around the northern tip of Vancouver Island. It's very remote. Nobody lives there. There's no roads. It's a wonderful piece of pristine wilderness.
As he makes his way along the channel, he comes across a small island that seems to have taken on a life of its own.
It was in the Naguacto Rapids. It has some of the fastest tidal flow in the world. So the flow of the water changes direction several times a day. And while I'm filming, I'm focusing in on the waves and the rock. landmarks.
George's video shows a view of the channel with a small tree-covered islet in the middle. But while the boat appears to float along very slowly, the island rushes past it at an alarming clip.
The island appears to have broken loose and is traveling upstream against the current.
George posts his video online, and everyone who views it joins in on his confusion.
We know that islands don't move. They don't float. They're not boats. They're pieces of land that are sticking up out of the water. Why is this thing on the move?
But journalist Aaron McCarthy says it's not the only island reported to be in motion.
There's also El Ojo, or I Island, in Argentina. It's almost perfectly circular, and it constantly moves and rotates. And according to some sources, locals believe that the circle within a circle is a representation of God on Earth. Other people theorize that is actually covering up a hidden underwater alien base. And that has led believers of this theory to say that that's proof that something otherworldly is at work here.
So Yahweh, as God the Father, stepped off of his throne in heaven and came in the likeness of a man. It says that the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. He emptied himself by taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men, as Yeshua. And Yeshua is the right hand of the Father. Your right hand, O Lord, has become glorious in power. Your right hand, O Lord, has dashed the enemy in pieces. So this is the name of Yeshua in Hebrew written inside the palm of the right hand. Now God comes to us in many different forms, as a master, a shepherd, one who provides, or one who heals. But as Yeshua, he took up the form of a servant, and Yeshua means God is salvation. He was rejected by the world. He was whipped, beaten, and tortured. He was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. But when we believe in him, we are like grafted into his body. We share in his affliction. And it's as if each one of us are a piece of the literal body of Jesus Christ. So when Jesus was beaten, we are beaten also. And when Jesus was whipped, we are whipped also. Now on top of all this brutal punishment, he wore a crown of thorns. Now Jesus wore a crown of thorns instead of the crown of glory. So this showed his humility. But the crown of thorns was actually deliberate. Now thorns are often portrayed as people all throughout the Bible, but particularly those who bring some form of persecution. And so he took the punishment of the thorns for the sake of the thorns. And it was these thorns who caused him the suffering, yet he also died for. This is why it was specific that he wore a crown of thorns. He became the perfect, spotless, sinless, sacrificial lamb for us, for the sins of the world. So we were chosen by him to become a royal priesthood, a holy nation, and Jesus is our high priest under the order of Melchizedek. And because of this, we will be sons of God. And in Romans 8 it says that the Spirit testifies with our spirit that we are sons of God, but we are not yet revealed or made manifest. We are not made manifest until we are given the morning star, which is an angelic celestial body. Because right now we are like this earthly tent, this earthly house, a tabernacle, but we will eventually be given a glorified body, which is the mansion that is being prepared for us. We are like the seed planted in the ground, but it will not be made alive until it dies. And when we die and are made alive, we are made as kings and priests to reign over the earth. And if you want a copy of this book right now, which has even more in it, you can go to the link in my bio and get yours today.
Think about the thief on the cross. I can't wait to find that fellow one day to ask him. You've never been in a Bible study, you never got baptized, and yet you made it. You made it. How did you make it? That's what the angel must have said. You know, like, what are you doing here? Well, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Excuse me, let me get my supervisor. They go get the supervisor angel. So, wait, just a few questions for you. First of all, are you clear on the doctrine of justification by faith? The guy said, I've never heard of it in my life. And what about, let's just go to the doctrine of Scripture immediately. This guy's just there. And eventually in frustration, he says, on what basis are you here? And he said, the man on the middle cross said, I can come. Now, that is the only answer. That is the only answer. And if I don't preach the gospel to myself all day and every day, then I will find myself beginning to trust myself, trust my experience, which is part of my fallenness as a man.
Okay, now this has got to be some of the most interesting stuff I've ever seen. What if all of the dark spots on the moon are actually a reflection of all the continents on Earth? And it works as sort of a universal map for everybody in the world. Now, first of all, I want you to look at this specific spot here in the bottom right of the moon. According to the theory, that portion of the moon is supposed to correspond with this area of the map, and this whole area is supposed to be what we know as Earth. You see, you got Africa on the left here, Europe and Asia in the middle, and then North America is way up here on the right, and it's a lot smaller than what we have on our own maps. So if this area on the right is what we know as Earth, then what is this whole section over here? Well, I guess it is other unexplored land, simply called North Terra Vista and South Terra Vista. However, North America and South America looking like this is a little bit sus to me. But it might actually be what those continents actually look like, because all the maps we see, we know that they're already distorted, because you know that Greenland is not actually that big. So all of these dimensions cannot be right on the maps that we see, so maybe it does look actually a little bit different. This map even shows there being a huge ass continent east of Asia called Lemuria that looks like it's only 5 feet away from Japan. But what do you guys think? Is this fact or fiction?